The very first talk on the video today by Neil made reference to a man in a tree picking a date. And my story also begins in Morocco, up in a tree, batting down almonds. I was in the Peace Corps in Morocco, up in the Atlas Mountains, and you see a picture here of a Berber village, much like where I was. And up in this tree, the father who I lived with, his name translated means slave of the merciful one, people of the figs. He told me some very wise words that I will never forget. He said, Yusuf, dima atasit la'awin ila ghango breed. And, you get that? And translated in English basically means, always pack a warm lunch for the road. And I said, huh? So I have a thermos. You know, any food I warm up is going to be cold by the time I walk out of the village. You know, and I don't get it. So, Steve, you're still young. You understand not of which I speak. I'm not talking about foodstuffs, but of generosity. Because be generous, and your reputation will go far. And when you leave your village and you hike to a distant town, your reputation will precede you. And when you arrive, the people will welcome you into their homes, and therein you will find your lunch fresh from the fire. So that's my warm lunch for the road story that I learned back in Morocco, but I've always tried to keep this going. And there in Morocco, hospitality was a big part of life. It was a requirement for life because it all came out of a nomadic tradition with people moving from the highlands in the winter when it was wet, or dry, the lowlands and it was dry in another season. And there's a lot of dependency among the towns and moving around. People needed that network. And hospitality was just the rule. It was part of life every day. And I was there for 2 years up in the villages like this and 30 years somewhere else, and it was just, you know, there was a lot of hospitality that would take you in. Now, it wasn't always nice. I mean, there was some edginess to it all, but in terms of who's this foreigner, what's he really doing here, and all this kind of stuff. But generally, it was a very hospitable culture, and it was just baked in as part of the fabric. Here in the States, there's some loss of that now. Events like today, obviously we come together. It's a wonderful thing. That's part of the warm lunch that Jill here is packing for the road, is having us all here and bring us together. But I found that it really is important to make the effort to go and keep packing that warm lunch and bringing people together and having events like this and everything else. So what I'll transfer to now is one way I pack my warm lunch for the road going forward, and it's the in my backyard. I live in St. Carlos. I built a cold smoker. I got inspired by this by I don't know if you watch the Food Network. Alton Brown, Good Eats. He made bacon in a gym locker. And anyway, you know that one?
Yeah.
Right, Scrap Iron Chef. So I decided to do that. I'll show you actually my version 1.0 at the end. That is my garbage can cooker. But anyway, a cold smoker is a device that allows you to prepare very large quantities of very good food. And some of it is out there on the table, and I do encourage you all to partake of the what comes out of a cold smoker. But anyway, so what you're looking at there is the main box, and we'll get in the inner workings next, Jill. The trick to a cold smoker is that it's cold. Okay. Yeah, this is not a Texas smoker with hot smoke. This is not barbecue. This is nothing. This is Northern California elitist smoke. This is good. this is good stuff. And what you need is a lot of separation between the source of the smoke and the box where the meat or cheese or whatever it may be is hanging. And because you need to get the temperature of the smoke down from 200, 300, 400 degrees down to like 65. That's where you want to be. last time I was smoking the salmon at about 65. And that's, you get above 70 or 80, you're ruining the salmon. So the trick is you need to separate them out. And so this inside there is a, the real magic of all this is a Walgreens hot plate. Like when you're in a dorm room, you get a little hot plate. And you, on top there's a tuna fish can with some holes jabbed in the bottom, big tuna fish can. And then you put your wood chips in there. And the next slide. This is my finest masonry I've ever done. My only masonry I've ever done. But it's a little chimney, and inside you can see the hot plate in there, and that's where you smolder the wood chips. And next, please. And then there's a duct. And then that's the Silicon Valley angle here. The Peter fan pulls the smoke through this duct. Next. And that's kind of the first, that's the inaugural run of the 5000 XR. So you see the duct, that it's a pretty good duct connecting the tubes, and you see in the very foreground the little chimney with the bad masonry, and then you see the smoke coming out at the far end. And then next, this is my the patent geeks out here. This is my Jepson innovation of the prior art. Everything else is known, but I never saw on the internet this, which is so you get the duct running under through the I actually mulch, put mulch in there, and then ice cubes, which you kind of beat up and work into the mulch, and you pour hose it down with a garden hose to get nice, wet, cold, basically ice water glove around the duct. And then next. And then inside I've got these dowels, and you can hang whatever you want. Now that was my first run, was Port Salute, Stilton Blue, and Emmett Taylor, and it was good. But I do bacon, I do pastrami, I do salmon, you got some out there. Macadamia nuts are awful tasty, there's some out there as well. Duck, really nice. But cold smokers are not sold in stores. You can't, you need a good 10 feet, and you can't buy one of those in the shelf at Home Depot. And the thing is, you will make food that you can never get out of, the Home Depot special. So you got to kind of make these yourself, but it's really worth it. And then what you get is you get a tool to pack the warm lunch for the route, because you can have, actually whipping out food for 100 people in there is pretty darn easy. And it takes a little salt. Actually, you salt cure stuff, and then you keep it in the fridge for about a week. Let it air dry, and then you smoke it for a night. And then you can have, you can throw a party. And it's pretty good stuff usually. I do recommend with the salmon that you roll it up with a little bit of the smoked cheese in there, with a little sprinkling of the cured Meyer lemons in there, and kind of roll up a little California burrito, I guess. But and then is there another slide here? I forget. Is there more? Oh, forget, this is the first version of it all. This is everything's from Home Depot. It's a garbage can, cheap laundry duct, a little hibachi, same basic deal. But then what you can do is you really, you can throw parties, and you can get to meet people, and have that kind of the potlatch, I guess, from the Pacific Northwest type thing. Anyway, it's been wonderful to keep doling out the generosity and building up the network and all that kind of stuff. So with that, I think it is lunchtime now. So I will invite you to sample something from the 5000 XR.